everyone. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. We're across the pond in England this week, and two teams are hoping to show off for an international audience. It's the Bengals going up against the Bulldogs. With that, we head over to jolly old London as we welcome in our broadcast team, Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, thank you very much. We are pleased, as always, to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Coming up, another edition of the NFL International Series, and it should be a good one, between the Cincinnati Bengals and the London Bulldogs. He'll come out throwing here on first down. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give him 11 on the gain there. And that enables him to also pick up the first. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Completes it to Moncrief, left side. That throw good for 4. It's second down. And here's a look at the starting offense. Second down to the offense in search of 6 yards.
Now let's go. 3-19. No. Check. Patriots.
Defense showing blitz. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Dante Moncrief that time. And now it's third down. And the Bengals starting defensive unit now.
Pernell McPherson's a strong run-stuffing outside linebacker who's beginning to blossom as a pass rusher.
And the offense facing a 3rd and 6. And he motions the wide receiver. 3-19. On third down, he'll drop to throw. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. He could not get away that time, and it'll be a loss of 11 on third down. On fourth down, here's Matt Bosher on to punt. This is taken at the 15. He can't bring him down.
The weight room does work.
A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Bengals take possession. Now Dalton with a 1st and 10. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. And a look at the offense that is hoping to put some points up in bunches here in this one. 10 yards still left on second down. Shift together here from the D-line. 2nd and 10. Dalton once more. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's going to be out of bounds, but able to take it inside the 40-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
We always talk about having to read defenses, and how complicated that is? Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice gain.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
This will be Dalton again. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. Give him 3 on the play, and it'll make it second down. And here now, the defensive starters.
Landon Collins is built like your typical tackle-first safety, but he does have the ability to play the deep part of the field.
As they run the counter play. And he'll go down at the 28. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
1st and 10 for Dalton. Under heavy pressure, and down goes Dalton on the sack. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up second. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Now Dalton looking middle, and that's complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone, and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Play action now, Dalton. And this one is incomplete. Now the Bengals will settle for 3 as the field goal unit comes on here. From the right hash, it's a 46-yard attempt. And his kick here is good. And the Bengals are on the board first here. It's 3-0. So our initial drive here this afternoon results in 3. I'm not sure that was a statement necessarily, but getting points on the road, never a bad thing.
No question about it, Brandon. You had a crowd that was all fired up during pregame introductions, yet you're able to quiet them just a little bit by taking the early lead.
And he is out of bounds as they'll start up past the 30. Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And last time out they had to punt the football away. Anything positive possibly to take from that?
There always is when you're punting the football away. It doesn't sound like it because you're giving it up, but you've avoided a mistake.
At least you didn't turn it over.
You didn't turn it over, right? You're giving your defense a chance because you're punting the ball away, and they're set to go on the field as opposed to sudden change after a turnover. And wow, now you got to go out there and stop people. So, yeah, there's always something positive to be gained from it.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And this one complete to Will Fuller. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
Give them 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. So the offense now dealing with a 2nd and 7. Looks like the defense in press coverage here.
Now let's go.
They'll look to throw here. Fuller brings it in over the middle. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there. If he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback that has to slide and find open space to throw.
So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that...
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Derek Wolfe, he's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. And here comes play number 6 on this drive.
Hurry up, here we go.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Going for the deep ball. That's caught inside the 20. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or make sure you're somehow in contact with him. And he's able to do exactly what you said. Use the speed to his advantage and go up and get the football. That's a big-time play right there.
Now the Georgia Southern man. This is Jarek McKinnon. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Pernell McPhee in there on the stop. Well, at least he was able to break that initial contact, or it could have been a loss.
Yeah, give credit to the defensive player, though. What did he do? Made him slow down, slow up his feet, and allowed the rest of the guys to get there to finish him off.
They'll set up to throw. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. Now Lutz for the field goal try.
I don't care what game it is. Everyone's always looking for an early advantage, an early break, and they almost had one there. That should have been an interception. Nice catch. Just couldn't get his feet down in bounds.
Offensively lucky. So we're right back where we started. All even as the kick's away. That's fielded in the end zone. And last year that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee. And that's at the 25. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it. Okay, when the big guy runs a corner route, you're asking a lot no matter who's covering him. Doesn't matter whether it's a linebacker or a defensive back. Yeah. He usually has the advantage because of his body type.
On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
It's a 4-yard pickup, and that'll make this a 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And again, Andy Dalton to throw. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete. third down. They'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. Third down, a shot here for Dalton. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. It'll be a gain of 6, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Now, that's going to be a tough one to explain when they get together and watch the game film, isn't it? I mean, they had the right call, had the out route. He's got to know where the first down sticks are, yet he steps out of bounds that close. Not their best play.
So the kick from here on a field goal would have been right at 53 yards. But instead, offense out there. They're going for it. They come out here in the eye. Dalton's going to sneak it. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play. And they're able to convert here on 4th and inches.
It would have been a long field goal attempt, so when you only need a few inches, this, to me, is the right decision. And they wind up picking up the conversion on 4th down.
So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs. So a designed run last play, now Dalton to pass. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
3 yards to go on 2nd down. Dalton throwing on 2nd down. And this is caught on the sideline. But no, they'll say out of bounds. He caught it, but was not in bounds. Incomplete.
That was a nice catch, but unable to stay in bounds. And remember, it wasn't a wide receiver who works on that all the time.
I was going to say, he likes to get the ball handed to him. Now, don't get me wrong. He's part of the passing game as well, but maybe a little out of his comfort zone there.
Yeah, he might want to have a few words to say to us about that later, but I am still going with you on that one. Wide receivers work out a little bit more.
Throwing, Dalton. They'll buy some time right. They got pressure there and only rushing 3.
And there's a defensive coordinator right now who is celebrating not just getting home with 3 there, but realizing if that's the type of pressure he can get in the entire game, then his pass defense is going to be excellent. You're dropping 8. Where are you going to go with the football?
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. They'll pass up a field goal attempt. It would have been a 45-yarder. Now they'll go for it on 4th. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24.
Brandon, this is why play callers get the big bucks. This wasn't a 4th and inches call. You get into situations like 4th and 3, 4th and 4. You've got a tough decision to make. Very gutsy play here, and they pick up the first down.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Landon Collins. So out now comes the offense back onto the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
toe bashed it.
Super toe.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And they'll set up the screen to Gurley. And able to break break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 6 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Looking to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
As tight ends go, he might not provide the super flashy plays very often, but he's pretty reliable. Usually an excellent target and normally catches what's thrown to him, but he didn't on that play.
And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on 3rd. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And complete to Moncrief over the middle. And you as a former defender should know that the referees are watching this closely, defensive holding.
They watch it awfully closely. I sure wish they'd let it be 5.5 yards like they do for the offensive guys, but in this case, they were strict with the rule.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. Black 99 Philly. Here we go. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Amaro's got it, left side. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit! Detroit!
On 1st down, it's Gurley. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Decent chunk of yardage still left here, 2nd and 7.
Detroit! Detroit!
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Complete to Amaro on the right side. 20, 10, touchdown! Jace Amaro, his first touchdown of the new season. And his guys have taken the lead. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call. But he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
And so we have the touchdown. Now here's Blair Walsh to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Face mask penalty, and Charles, you were a defender. You know sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's hard to keep your hands away from that face mask.
Sometimes you just get out of position as a defender when you're trying to make a tackle, so you end up flailing away, and your hand gets into the wrong spot.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Dalton sets up play action. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down. Two minutes to play here in the first half. Back to the booth right after this. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Big sack on 2nd down. Now the offense needs to convert here on 3rd. Halfback sent in motion. Third and long. What will Dalton dial up? He's going to rifle one deep left side. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Landon Collins. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. Now this offense ready to take over again. And that last drive, a long drive. But not just that, they had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
All right, here we go.
And the wideout in motion. Now a play fake here on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Now let's go. Green, 39.
Amaro, the tight end, in motion. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. Usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
Third down here for the offense after the incomplete pass. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side.
Blue 90. Watch it now. Check 52. Watch it now, Barney.
Out of the gun now on third down. He's got time. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. He's going to air one out. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. Second down.
When teams take shots at the end zone, you got to defend it the same way you would defend the first down sticks. You defend the goal line exactly the same way. They can't cross that. You play through the receivers, and on that play, that's exactly what they did and batted it away.
And second and 10, he'll look to throw again. And over the middle here, Amaro. And he's brought down. 16 yards to the 16 and a first down. And quickly they get to the line. Amaro, the tight end, in motion. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
Now on second down, this is Gurley. And he stopped immediately there. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. And he took the contact as he was throwing it, and the ball drops incomplete.
Whenever I see an in-route dropped, as we just saw on that play, I'm always thinking that in the back of their mind, They're worried about what's coming at them because they're going towards traffic on that route as opposed to being away from it and maybe having a little bit more space.
It's a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they get the field goal near the end of the first half to expand that lead.
Now, that's got to feel good, but they can't let up. Now on the kickoff, they've got to make sure they don't give up a big return or big yardage to set up the other team for one last chance to score themselves.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Bengal offense now gets set to head back out onto the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
They go back to the air here after the INT. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now, hang on here. Timeout called by the defense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. They'll run it now out of the gun. Shreds the tackle, and he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. We have hit halftime. Jeez, they don't even want to let their guys get a drink of water. All right, third quarter, let's get to it. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. A strong running. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But
this
you're going to do that?
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. And he's taken down deep in their territory. Nice completion there for Andy Dalton. Charles, you worked some of his games when he was at TCU. Now you've worked his games in the NFL. What progression have you seen?
I've seen a guy who took over as a freshman in college and got better and better each year. Always added a little bit more to his game, got stronger. But the best part about him is he's always been accurate.
So he got his hands a little too far outside. The ref caught him, threw the flag. Dalton now to pass. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by the linebacker, Avery Williamson. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right.
Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. So this is where a defense can really pin back its ears, bring it all, sell out to stop the run. This time, it'll earn them 2 points.
They definitely guessed right here. A run blitz all the way, and that's a bad feeling for a running back when he knows he's got to at least get it over the goal line. But all he sees are opposing jerseys.
And out now, here come the Bengals. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's got room. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 23 yards on the play.
Every team in the league always wants explosive plays, breakout plays, and even more so when it's your horse who's had a tough time during the game.
Yeah, not that great in the first half, maybe. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. It's the linebacker, Michael Kendricks. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. They go play action here on first down. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by the all-pro corner, Josh Norman. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. So the safety, obviously a big play, but now the offense, maybe they feel pressure to score with the defense doing something like that.
And it's good pressure because they put them in a nice spot now, having scored the points on defense, turn the ball back over to them. You're right, there's pressure to score, but they feel good about their chances.
That's good. They like that pressure. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Andy Dalton. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And he's going to go out of bounds, taking it down inside the 25.
And they pick up a first down, and that came out of the fullback position. But as you and I both know, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a fullback playing in that spot.
Well, times have changed, right? The old school fullback doesn't really exist anymore.
We're not getting that same player out of college with all the spread offenses, not very many pro style where you actually have a true fullback. We're having to make do in the NFL and put guys in that spot who emulate it but aren't necessarily that position.
This will be caught inside the 10. And they do get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
The interception last drive, there he hits the reliable target.
Now, I can't imagine any celebrations being any bigger than your first NFL touchdown. And this rookie running back is still seeking his. He's not going to get it on that play.
They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. It's 2nd down. Dalton looking. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. Their dangerous wide receiver. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bengals are a 2-point conversion away from tying this football game. And they'll get set here looking for the 2-point conversion. Here's Dalton to throw for it. That's caught. And he'll get into the end zone as the 2-point conversion is successful. Nothing separating these two teams on the scoreboard as the kick's away here. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Now this offense ready to head back out there. And last time wasn't pretty. 1 play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
The one running back is Gurley. He's going to get the football. And an alley to run. And oh, he sheds a tackle. Now he's got some space. 30, 10, 5, touchdown. Todd Gurley, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And his guys are going to take the lead. Walsh now for the PAT. And they will take a 7-point lead now. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And they're going to need another score. Got one last time, but still down here.
When you're playing catch-up, every possession becomes crucial, doesn't it? It's vital. Get back out on the field, punch in the end zone again. They know it's not easy, but what they do have going for them, they did score the last time. They think they've got a good formula working.
And what about the defense?
Well, now you're just saying to yourself, okay, we gave up a score last time. What adjustments do we need to make to slow them down now and get the ball back for our own offense? Is it more pressure? Is it more zone? What do they have to do? They're trying to figure that out themselves.
We'll see if they can figure that out right here. Now Dalton finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. Well, earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down. A nice, safe throw and a good one.
Here's Brett Kern now as he's on a punt for the first time this afternoon. $51 yards on the punt there. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And here now the offense heading back out there. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep. About them just taking it big-time jaunt back out. Now they've established this run game. The play-action pass could very well be open.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
Now back to throw. And he's got it over the middle. Flainer. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
They'll try and pick up the first with Gurley. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Well, partner, they might want to tear up their scouting reports a little bit here because they just broke tendency. 3rd down, you don't ordinarily see a toss. They ran it really well and picked up a 1st down. I love the way the edges were sealed, which allowed him to get to the corner.
He's got his man on the crossing route. A good pickup there, a 22.
Love the call by the offensive coordinator, recognizing the situation very well, calling for the play-action pass and completing it.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
Hurry up, here we go. No. Check. Patriot. Detroit. Watch it now, Barney. Here we go now.
Now they'll pitch it back to Gurley. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And they give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the 3rd quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the 2nd half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game, and with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Over the middle this time to Fowler. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the next step in utilizing this position is to actually utilize more of a scat back in this spot. Because we saw the catch there, right? He made it, but he's a bigger, stronger guy, maybe not quite as elusive as maybe someone else you would put there.
Yeah, didn't get the big yardage there you might out of a smaller back. An extra defensive back in the game now here for 3rd and 4. Looking to throw. And he's got Moncrief. They get 9 yards there, and they get a 1st down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Welcome back now here in London. Back to the ground game here. Gurley might have gotten this one down to the 28, and that's all. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
The wide receiver moving to a new spot.
Watch him now, Barney.
Again, they run with Gurley. And he cuts it out to the sideline. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. Todd Gurley with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
And so we have the touchdown. Now here's Blair Walsh to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's able to get up here to the 26. 5 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd down. And now they're in the hurry-up. Dalton throwing on 2nd down. He's going to fire this thing deep right sideline. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
So 3rd and medium here, 3rd and 5. Andy Dalton. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he's going to have the 1st down, yardage to the 35. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. And a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. They're going to hurry back to the line now.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help. And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes. So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
A first down throw coming for Dalton. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. No gain on the screen there. It's second down. Offense still needing 10 yards. Second down.
So many screen passes are the result of excellent acting by everyone. But sometimes the guy who's getting the ball tips the play off.
Under heavy pressure, and down goes Dalton on the sack. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up third. And no press coverage here. They are backing off in the secondary. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And almost intercepted. That would have been his third pick in this game alone. Instead, fourth down.
While an incomplete pass certainly doesn't look like a good play, for the guy throwing it today, as many interceptions he's thrown, he's got to feel a sigh of relief that the ball actually hit the ground and didn't go in the other direction.
Big fourth down here. It's Dalton. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line. 26 yards on the play there. And on fourth and long, somehow they're able to... keep the drive going. Well, just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense. First and 10 for Dalton. And now here's another interception. It's the linebacker, Michael Kendricks. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And now back out comes the offense. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a bead on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit, a little play action and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out. And second and 10, he'll look to throw again. And over the middle here, Amaro. And that one results in 35 yards. And defensively, they just don't seem to have much of an answer for this passing game.
Not at all. Look at the confidence that's exhibited here. With that type of a lead, clock on their side, instead of running it, they're still throwing it, trying to pick up first downs and keeping the football.
All right, here we go. Green, 39. All right, now look at 56.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll look to throw, and they can't get the long connection as it falls incomplete. They'll throw. He's going to let this go deep. Back over the middle. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. They give him a gain of 37. He's played a great game. It continues right there, even with this lead, confident to throw the pass and have the reception made.
There's no doubt who the leader of their team is there? There's no doubt who they want to ride all the way to the finish, because strategy would tell you run the football, run the clock down. Instead, they're letting him throw it.
And he will take it in for the touchdown. Will Fuller, his third touchdown now on the year. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning, right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That's fielded in the end zone. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better. There are so many things to watch for when you play defense, and reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. The big man, Jarrell Casey, in on the stop. And this defense continues to give them fits. They just can't get really anything going on the ground, can they?
I love the theme that you just brought up. This defense has been tough all game long against the run. We just saw another example of it there.
And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down. And they're going to hurry back to the line now.
When you put together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it. They come up in an offset eye. They come out here in the eye. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And he's going to be sacked back on his side of the field at the 44. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels, because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right, and sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel right going into the game, and they translated that into a win.
They did indeed. They protected the home field, and now the final stages. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They'll stick to the ground game with Gurley. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They give them 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
Well, I'd say that run's pretty emblematic of what we've seen all day long. No matter what they've done on offense, this offensive line has controlled the line of scrimmage, given them time to throw it, run it, do whatever they wanted. That's why there are points up on the board. And right now, the psyche of the offense, we're in control, and we can do whatever we feel like doing out here on the field.
And it's caught. Touchdown. Their big-bodied receiver. His first touchdown of the new season. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told, as he's taken down back shy of the 20. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand.
In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up second. And they're going to speed things up here.
380. 380.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he will lose yardage here back to his own 6. So he loses 3 yards there. Now third down.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line's just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you've got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe you keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now. I like what they were thinking on defense. Just guard the first down sticks. Don't let anyone pass that. Didn't matter whether they threw it or ran it. They just ended up rallying to the football on the running play and stopped them short of a first down.
Passing, it's Dalton. Looking left side, and it's complete. He's at the 30. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they?